All right, hey everybody, it's Anakin, and welcome to the second episode of Down the Scope. I'm going to be your host this week, and let me introduce all the other people that help make Down the Scope a great podcast. We've got Veridiya Guru. Veridiya, hey, say a little bit to the audience here.
What's going on, guys? I can't wait to get into this because I'm excited.
Awesome. Hey, we got Rad Austin here with us as well. Rad, say a little bit.
Hey guys, what's going on? And I don't think I've played 40 hours zombies in a row since the last map pack came out.
Fantastic. And of course, we've got Miss Zombie Lady. Say a little bit.
Hello. I don't care about Easter eggs.
Fantastic.
Don't talk to me.
That's awesome.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get episode 2 going here. Of course, this is Down the Scope, the podcast that you can't miss. If you guys caught the first episode, we had a really good time talking about George Hotz or Geo Hotz, and we also covered a little bit about Black Ops, some of the problems out there with lag and some of the ideas of where we were going to go with the future of COD. This week, since we actually ran out of time last week, we're going to cover a little bit more about the future of the entire Call of Duty franchise, and we also want to talk about the new First Strike map pack that came out this week, and also highlight everybody's favorite, the Ascension map, that new Zombies map with the First Strike DLC. Oh yeah, we got finally Rad and Miss Zombie Later are going to have a good time with that topic, I can tell you. One other topic this week that we do want to talk about, we've got motion controls, and we're going to talk a little bit about that in relation to the gaming industry as a whole, but also having to do with the new Killzone 3 beta that came out, because some of those new videos out there on the net are showing the integration of the PlayStation Move with that. So
yeah, for sure.
So it should be a good time. So let's everybody just chit chat a little bit in case you guys are joining us for the first time here. Let everybody introduce themselves. You guys can kind of get a feel for who we are, what we do, and what our YouTube channels are about. And Veridiya, I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna tell you right now, this week has been pretty much taken over by Ascension and First Strike, trying to get some good gameplay. And I know you told me that you got a few gameplays. I've actually been struggling because I am a rusher, and I keep getting camped. I don't know about you guys, but I mean, it seems like they've taken a sniper position here. They were like, we kind of made all the other maps not sniper friendly. We need to make some where they can camp and be little wusses. So I've been kind of struggling with that, playing some Ascension, and I think Z and I are going to run through Left 4 Dead 2. So yeah,
I'm excited.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Red, you got something to add to that? Why don't you tell us a little bit about you and your channel and some of the things going on with you?
He doesn't have anything to add to that.
Yeah, Brad, it's a cool video guru. I got the channel. Shut up. Anyway, with me this past week, it was just I tried out the maps a little bit. I was really disappointed with Discovery, but I'll get more into that later. The other
Get
maps
out of here.
and the zombie maps. Ascension is definitely a feeling I haven't felt in a long time in a zombie map, but who knows if it's for good or for worse.
Made him tingle.
Yeesh. I'm trying to eat over here. Hang on.
What's wrong with you?
I'm sorry. I'm just having fun here. I'm picking on you a little bit.
It feels good.
Good Lord. All right.
Too much.
All right, Ms. Zombie Lady, tell us a little bit about you, your channel, and what's been going on with you since the last episode.
Just, the lack of sleep, going to work on the first day of the First Strike maps. Yeah, me and Brad or Veridiya, we're playing combat training of the different maps. I liked it. It's really good. I know. Sure.
That's like all you played of the maps, isn't it? Just the combat training we did.
Oh, because I can connect to anybody. I don't know about you guys.
It's that Canadian connection you got up there.
Yeah.
Spider begs to differ.
Well,
he has two,
Yeah, he's probably got two routers plugged in.
He does. Oh my god, he showed the setup. It was insane. I'm just like, I can't even. He's like has 5 different internet systems he's paying for. I'm like, what? How are you supposed to compete with that?
Yeah, he's always host. It's insane. Right? Jesus.
No, but I really like the new maps. I don't know about you guys, like both multiplayer and
Yeah.
zombies.
Yeah. I mean, I like all the maps. I think that, like I said, they're a little bit campy, but I mean the Discovery, whatever, Reed, that was an amazing map. I thought. I mean, the only thing I was disappointed with was that when I did a flop, I didn't belly slide down the ice.
Right. Speaking of, by the way, on the maps, it's like the 3 maps all have something. Like the three maps that besides Stadium all have a gimmick.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that? I mean, you had the zip lines in Kowloon. You had the destructible environment in Discovery, and then you had the automated turrets in kind of that no man's land area in Berlin Wall. But here's the thing: speaking of sliding on the ice, they missed an opportunity with Stadium. They should have opened up the ice rink, and when you ran across it, you should have been able to slide and lose control. You should have been able to slide across the ice. That would have been a blast.
That would have been awesome. And I want to point this out. If you have some time later today, or whenever you're watching or listening to this, go into theater mode, go into the ice rink, and look at the hockey puck. Look how freaking humongous it is. Like, they couldn't have made it down to scale, but they made it like the size of a manhole cover. I'm not even lying. It's hilarious.
Okay, I'll go check that out. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, it's like right in the middle. Like, I mean, right where you'd start playing. But if you compare it to a body standing right beside the ice rink, you couldn't even pick it up. It would be way too heavy.
I did not notice that. That is awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So, the reason I don't like Discovery is because I was so excited for that destructible environment, and it's so completely useless.
I mean, as far as I know,
happen.
It's like one piece of the bridge. Am I right? It's like not very much.
I didn't even try to destroy anything.
Well, there's a couple actually. There's a couple of places you can destroy. There's
okay.
There's 3 bridges, and it's just I don't know. It's too big for my taste. I mean, this comes from where I like big maps, but it's just so big you can't find anyone. It's like, wow, this is really, really lame. And Stadium's fine. I have no problem with that one. Boy, Kowloon is awesome. I love the Kowloon.
Yeah, I think Kowloon's the best of the 3.
I really haven't done too much multiplayer because I just did combat training to check it out. And the biggest part I liked was Berlin Wall. That was so awesome with snipers. I mean, just pop smoke, run past no man's land, and get to the headquarters or wherever you're trying to get to.
Yeah, exactly. I know what you mean there. I mean, as far as it goes with the maps, I'm okay with it. I mean, I don't know, the Kowloon seems to be a little bit fishy to me, like, because there's so many different levels you can hit with snipers and whatnot, so it can kind of be a drag sometimes.
Mm-hmm. So, do you want to just move on or stay in with the zombie map? Do you want to go discuss that now?
Well, hang on. Before we actually get all the way into that, because I know that's going to be a very large portion, let's just talk about a little bit about the gaming, the week in gaming. Let's kind of go back and talk about some of the things that's been going on since our first podcast. We had a lot of new demos this last couple of weeks.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, exactly. We did, and I think we talked a little bit about that in the first one. We talked about trying out the Bullet Storm, and we tried the what else did we try? Crisis 2?
Crisis 2, yeah. I had a blast with it. I downloaded Bullet Storm and Crisis 2. I also tried Breach, by the way. Did you guys get that a shot?
No, I actually saw you playing that, but I didn't get to try it out. What was that?
Yeah, don't.
I was about to say, I saw Hyperbole post a video about it, and it goes, Breach, ? No, thank you. And he couldn't get 10 seconds into the video before he's like, this is crap.
Well, so what's it about?
Well, it is an arcade game, so you got to cut it a little bit of slack. I mean, it's certainly not a $60 title. However, for whatever, for the thing, the deal is, for a first-person shooter that is literally a downloadable Xbox Live Arcade title, it's not bad, okay? But it's like you're playing Modern Warfare in ridiculously oversized maps from like Battlefield, but with the feel of Black Ops times 10 of the lag. So that's basically what you got, I think.
So it was really like okay. Well, you know what? I have to try it now because it sounds like a train wreck. You know what I mean? And you can't look away.
Well, get this. For the first 3 minutes, literally for the first 3 minutes, I spent shooting a guy across the map, and I kept trying to figure out why was he not dying. He had a big red symbol above his head. His name was in red above his head, and I'm thinking, it's an enemy, man. I'm tearing this guy up, and he just won't die. What's going on? So then, like, somebody says, somebody types me a message or something and goes, "Why do you keep shooting me? I'm on your team," and I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "You have a red name," and he's like, "Yeah, we're the red team," and I'm like, "Oh, it's one of those games." Okay.
Too much COD there.
He called you a COD fanboy, and you just like. That's awesome. So
team killer.
Yeah. So were the mechanics bad? Was that one of the things, or was it just the oversized maps?
It just seemed not very well polished. I knew what they were going for. They're going basically for just kind of a low end, a poor man's, Call of Duty, and it just doesn't work. There's just, the maps are huge. You can't really see very well. The weapons are just, generic. It just doesn't say a whole lot, for that genre with something that, that low end. I just think that it's just, they try to go too far with too little resources, I think.
Right. Well, I will definitely be trying that out pretty soon. So, but hey, well, here's something we talked about this, and I played the Crysis 2 demo, and I was not a big fan. You just said that you had a good time with it, so.
Yeah, I loved it. I was on board. You didn't. Tell me what you didn't like about it.
Well, I told you. It was basically like, one, I had horrible connection errors, so they obviously fixed that, I guess.
Yeah, I had zero problems. I played probably 10 games straight, no issues.
And so, and also, I brought up the sluggy feel of the controls. That didn't bother you at all?
Man, I didn't think it felt any more sluggish or laggy than Black Ops, honestly.
What?
I'm telling you,
So you didn't feel weighed down at all?
No, in fact, I actually felt like I could traverse the map extremely quickly with no issues, jumping around, getting where I needed to get to. I felt like it was very responsive.
Well, I know you can get around quick, but I'm like talking about maybe like turning and like aiming and stuff. Like, did you have any problems aiming and like?
I bumped the sensitivity up. It was set to 25, which is funny to talk about 25 versus like COD. But
what?
They actually did a scale of 100 for the sensitivity, and it's actually set to 25. I bumped it up to 50 whenever I first started playing, and I felt like I was completely out of control, like I was a NASCAR driver or something, and I had to completely change that. But let me tell you, the happy medium, it seems like for me, was around 35, and I felt like I could turn pretty easily.
Well, I need to try 35 then, because I'm at 75, and
holy cow.
I still feel sluggy. Like, it doesn't matter how high I set it. I may move quicker, but there's just something, and I think it has to do with the aiming at this. Like, so in COD, like, there's a very fine balance between when you aim in, how they change your sensitivity according to how you're aiming or whether you're not aiming. Or ADSing rather,
right.
And I think it just is it's just different. So they don't change it as much when you aim down sight. So maybe that's what it is. But I mean, other than that, I actually got a comment on one of my videos about Crysis 2, and they were saying, "Don't compare it to COD." And
well, it's kind of hard not to.
I was like, "Are you kidding me? It's a first-person shooter for one. Okay, so that means that it's in the same category." Second of all, they straight up ripped off the 357 kill streaks and the kill cams and the final kill cams, and I can keep going.
I know, and that's the thing is, I read an article with I'm probably going to destroy this guy's name, but it's Suryat Yurli. I think he's the guy that owns the studios behind Crysis, and this guy has been talking about for ages now that Crysis 2 is going to be a COD killer. And, a lot of people were like, well, why is that? And he goes, well, because my game's better, and I've basically, condensed their formula back down. Well, the funny thing is he was really trying to compare it to Modern Warfare 2 and the Black Ops, where you've got all these different, kill streaks and all these different things going on. Well, basically what he did is he copied COD 4, which is, which is basically, the 579 kill streaks, and, that's, the thing is, it looks like he just kind of went after, a simplified version, but with his gameplay style, which is the power suits and all of that. I think it's going to be a neat change, at least.
Yeah, well, with the powers and whatnot, yeah, I see the change, but I think unfortunately he started copying them, and then it took him that long to finish the game, so he's a little bit behind on the times here. Jesus.
Yeah.
So we played one more demo, didn't we? And that was Bulletstorm.
Yeah, Bulletstorm. Did you? Who all played that? Did you guys try it?
Nope, I'm lame.
He is, but I
I did.
I admit it.
And so that is definitely one I'm looking forward to.
Absolutely. Okay. Zombie Lady, did you play that one?
No, I'm just downloading Killzone right now.
Well, let me tell you, Bulletstorm is going to be a blast. You know, it looks like it's a good co-op game. I don't think that they're going to do any kind of versus mode in that. I didn't see any mention of that.
Well, I went to multiplayer and I couldn't tell. Like it was just, you know, it basically just said, yeah, buy the real game and then you'll get the multiplayer.
Right.
Yeah, but when you go into the single player, you're like, well, I really don't think I need a multiplayer. It might be a nice little bonus, but with all of the crap you can do, I mean, I'm still, like I said in one of my videos when I covered it, I'm still, every time I play, I'm unlocking some new bonus that I did, you know, like impaling somebody on a different spike, and it gives me a, or my favorite, the mercy kill, when they're like begging for life and you just stomp their face into the ground with a cigarette.
Well,
thanks for the mercy.
Well, you know, get this. There's a guy I work with, and you know, he's a huge Xbox, you know, fanboy. He plays everything that comes out on it. I mean, every demo you could possibly imagine, he'll go out and play it. And he got the Bulletstorm demo before I did, and he went and played it like 25 times. You know, trying to figure out all the different. You know, different kill, you know, whatever the, you know, bonuses and all the crazy kills that you can do. And he is actually ranked, you know, this guy needs to start his own channel. He's ranked he's number 4,000 and something, you know, on the Xbox Live, you know, scoreboards for the demo for Bulletstorm, you know, and I played the game, I don't know, 2 or 3 times, and I was like ranked like 500,000 or something. And I'm like, dude, what the hell were you doing, you know? And he just ended up playing it and figuring it out, and he went and read up on it, and he started doing all these crazy like kill moves and everything. So anyway, he told me he's like, oh, you're playing it all wrong. You got to kick this guy over here, and you got to move this guy over here. You got to shoot him with this kind of weapon, and you know, I'm like, oh, yeah, brother,
it's going to come down to doing a speed run type thing where you literally are going to be able to play each map like blind. Yeah. I mean, you're gonna have to get. I mean, did you 3-star the first just a little demo?
Oh yeah, I did that. But yeah, I mean, it was a blast. You know, the stuff that they allow you to do, I think is just going to be crazy for co-op and multiplayer. You know.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that if you're not going for score, it's going to be an easy game, but it's going to give that challenge to the people who are looking for the bigger picture, you know?
Absolutely, yeah.
I can't wait to play that.
Let me try that game.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think as far as I know, you can download it on Xbox and PS3.
That's
you know,
right.
it's not an exclusive to either one. Bulletstorm isn't. Now, Crysis 2 is an exclusive to Xbox, whereas Killzone 2 is an exclusive to PS3.
Right.
So,
but that's only demos, though. Now Killzone is exclusive.
Just demos.
But Crysis 2, I believe, will be on the PS3.
It will. I checked.
Yeah, they just don't have the demo out right now.
Okay. I didn't realize that that was the case. I didn't check.
Well, what about Killzone? You guys talk about Killzone. I just downloaded it myself.
Okay.
I have not been able to try it, but I did see a bunch of videos about it having to do with the Move integration.
Okay, yeah. See, I don't have the Move myself, so I can't speak for that. And I cannot connect to a game. Neither can Delta Hunter. He was trying to connect, and I got quite a few messages while I was recording some gameplay. But luckily, they in the demo, in the beta, they have the bot mode where you can go in, you can pump the bots up to like insanely difficult, and it's pretty much like you're playing Killzone Veterans. And they give you one map, and it's kind of like it's a frosty, just kind of a snow hell, and you get to run around on that. But it seems like they've taken Killzone 2, they made it a lot looser, they made it a lot more geared toward what we as first-person shooter gamers have come to expect from a first-person shooter, a very fluid feel. I mean, if you guys played Killzone 2, it felt a little weighty, and people kept making the observation. They're like, well, if you were wearing all that armor, you'd be weighed down too. And I'm like, well, you don't, listen, I'm I'm not paying $60 for reality here, okay?
I was about to say, it's like, wait a minute, we're talking about like, we're talking about gameplay based on the suit you're wearing.
No, yeah. Well, he's like, yeah, you'd be weighed down too, and I'm like, yeah, well, you know what? I bet I would also be able to cloak myself invisibly, as well as use a radar scanner to figure out which one of my guys was using some kind of a holograph device to turn themselves into my best buddy, and he's standing right next to me, and he's kicking my ass, and I'm like, Matt, quit. But but you know what I mean. They can change themselves. They can make them look like another. They can make them look like your team. So you're running around, you see somebody, you're like, oh, he's my teammate, and then he starts blasting you. He's in some kind of camouflage, and so I mean.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, it adds a pretty neat thing, and then depending on what class you use, you've got a special technique you can throw out. So if I believe it's the tactician. I don't think so. It may be the engineer, but engineers, they can create these turrets, and then tacticians or whatever. I'm probably screwing this up, but one of the classes, they can actually create flying machines that kind of hover around them, and they can pick people off from a distance, and they can also pick off enemy turrets. And then when you get to your sneakier class, you get your cloaking ability, and you can cloak for like 5 or 6 seconds, which gives you a nice time to pop out and shoot somebody. But I think you guys are gonna have a really good time with it. I mean, I did anyway, and I was a big Killzone 2 fan, so yeah.
They said they had a really nice graphics for that.
Oh yeah, well, and that's one thing to appreciate. I was rendering out my video, and it renders extremely slow, and I was noticing like even when you're ADSing, you're looking down your sight, that gun is just bouncing around in no rhythm or rhyme. It just kind of feels real. It's not a set animation, and I like that attention to detail. I really do.
Awesome. Well, okay, I'll tell you what, we've covered a lot of the demos and some of the other things going on, so let's get back to the one thing that everybody wants to talk about, one of the most popular topics of the last 7 days. Let's talk about Ascension. You guys take that away, because zombies is not exactly my forte, but I do love it just as much as the next guy. But you guys are certainly more experts than I am.
Well, I mean, we definitely been playing the crap out of it, and as the crap out of it. I mean, me, Zombie Lady, and I have probably put a good 10 hours in, I think.
And I think Reed's played it maybe 20 minutes, something like that.
20 minutes times.
He's not going to be about that. But, so yeah, I mean, we put some time in, and I mean, it is literally the best map, the best zombie map I have ever played. It's not only got the a very filled out kind of look to it. It's got a very filled out. It's just really complex, and it also, I mean, you've got to look at the Easter eggs that we've been finding, and it's really
the Easter eggs.
Yeah, it's really feeding to the fanboys, if anything else, and. I don't know. It's one heck of a thing. What did you think, Zombie? I mean, have you liked it so far?
I mean, yeah, it's different, and we still need to discover a lot of things. But I think looking for Easter eggs is, I don't know. It feels like work to me. I'm not. I'm not really enjoying when we're looking for Easter eggs, because it feels like you need to find it, not just play the game. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I mean, but when we play, we're not looking for Easter eggs. I know I wanted to, but we kind of sucked it up a little bit. I mean, we found.
No, not us, but other people.
Yeah, you're right. But I mean, as far as us finding our strategies and whatnot, there's so many different strategies you can figure out to use in that thing, and I think the biggest new addition is the monkeys. I mean, they are they're little.
They're cute.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was gonna say. But, they're mischievous anyway, and they if you don't know what they do, if you haven't played it, if maybe you're on the PS3, they've got this ability to steal your perks now, and they can take them, and I mean, you pretty much have to just buy them against wasting points. So they
do something with the perk machine.
Yeah, I mean, so really the only thing you can do is pray that the zombie has bought all of her freaking claymores, line them up on the wall, and she goes and dispenses them at every freaking every machine in between rounds. And I mean, so you've got to manage your perks, which is something you haven't had to do before. So if you can't have 4 perks and have 2 people, because you have to guard a perk machine, and if you're trying to guard one, you're leaving another one open for taking. So really, with the less people you play with on this one, it becomes insanely difficult, which pushes you to want to play with 4 people, which is honestly something I've never done before. I mean, I know Zombie, I know you played with 4 people more than less, but normally it's just me and my brother. We
No, I always play with 4 people. I don't like playing with 2 or 3. It's either solo or with 4 people.
Well, you played with me, like
Oh, sorry, I forgot about that.
Hey, do you remember that? But yeah, I mean, so Anakin, you haven't even jumped in at all yet?
I have not. I have not done Ascension. This is one of the things that
That's a sin.
Anakin!
I know, but it's one of those things that I have all these different people who love to play different games with me, and I've got various people who want to do just the zombies, and it's been one of those crazy things where I don't get to get on very often. With my twins here and all that, I'm still in that mode. They hit a month old this week, so I'm still trying to get
Congrats.
Thanks.
Congrats.
But I'm still trying to get like my schedule down, and with the Ascension thing, you really do have to say, okay, I'm going to play non-interrupted here, completely uninterrupted for the next hour.
Non-interrupted is the key.
Exactly. So
well,
I had not done it, but I'd love to play with you guys. You guys are the experts. Invite me in a game. Damn it.
Well,
Forever on, damn it.
Well, yeah, that's the problem. I mean, okay, so you said sit in uninterrupted for 1 hour, but Reed and I we kind of we wasted a good 2.5 hours.
Uninterrupted is the key here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the hard part. But
The hard part.
we I can't say we wasted, because we got a really cool little gameplay clip there. But so let's hear from Rad, the zombie. That's pretty much his forte. So what did you think? Yeah, so the last episode we were talking about if you were gonna like it or not. So did you like it or what?
Well, my thought on the map is it's absolutely incredible. The best thing they could have ever done is make it like Doris, and it reminds me so much of Doris, it's eerie, and that is easily my favorite map. With that said, the components in the map that make it so good is the flow of the game and how it's just fun to play. I mean, they have a whole new idea with the game. There's new objectives. The black and white Technicolor is so much fun to play with. The perks they introduce, space monkeys, etc.
Right. What did you say, Z?
What are the new objectives? It's the same thing.
No, there's always more stuff to find out. Besides the new pack-a-punch.
Having, Easter eggs. What are the new objectives? Like just killing zombies.
That's always the main objective.
That's
Wait a minute. I must have been playing this game all wrong. Do you kill zombies?
My character Dempsey, when he first spawned in, he actually said, "Oh, hey, Treyarch, it's a new objective," or something like that.
I remember that. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet. I mean, the way that they kind of broke the fourth wall there was pretty funny, for sure. But I mean, that's what I was talking about. Treyarch has realized that zombies to people like Rad, the people who have become fans of the backstory, is more than just fighting the zombies. And so yeah, let's talk a little bit about the fan service that we found the other night. Read.
Which I know, but by fan service, what do you mean exactly?
Well,
I don't want to start saying crap and people getting mad at me.
Okay, well, seeing as you don't know what it is means that it appealed to you in the highest. So what I'm talking about is the insane lunar Easter egg. Yeah. So kind of describe what the heck happened there. It's something that we've never seen before.
This Easter egg is the biggest thing with the fans is if you've ever played Derice, which is the best map ever released, in my opinion at least, there was a game called the Fly Trap or Hide and Seek where you actually get to communicate with Samantha, which is part of the backstory. She's the main antagonist, I think it is anyway, who knows, and she's causing the zombies pretty much to come after you and try and eat your brains. So with that said, what you would do in Derice is you would end up getting a pack-a-punch weapon, shoot this panel that's outside the map way ways, and it would trigger the hide-and-go-seek game and the fly trap. And the fly trap I'm not going to get into. That's actually a legit thing with the Germans that I'm not going to get into anyway. So,
thank you.
You had to find 3 bears, and when you found the 3 bears, the game was over. You say, the demonic voices always, and we were all disappointed because it's supposed to be this big ass thing, and everybody's like, "Oh, great, that sucked." So Treyarch said they removed the real hide and go seek game because it was too complicated. Well, the community, if you've ever been on the con forums, went kind of ape shit about that, and they're like, "Are you kidding me?" And so I feel this new game that takes 20 minutes to explain, this new Easter egg, has completely answered that complication.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, to take into, I can't understand how somebody could have figured this out in the first place. Let alone
about this community.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you saw how long it took us just to do what we already knew. I mean, just a little bit, and then once we got to the part where we were kind of skeptical about what to do, we weren't 100% sure how to do it. It took us almost 2.5 hours to just get that far, and that was some insane searching and whatnot. It really blows my mind how people find this stuff. I mean, with or without clues. I mean, you wrote me up a little paper on the clues that you found. With the 1, 2, 3, 4 through 8, and still that revealed nothing to me.
but hang on, okay. I saw this crazy. Is this the Easter egg that takes seriously 10 minutes actually to do all the different things?
10 minutes and
10 minutes?
2 hours. It takes a 10-minute video to get dense 2 hours.
Okay, the video I watched, okay, that is true, because the video I watched was the one where, everybody had condensed it down, they sped everything up, and there was, it was at least 15 minutes, I guess, maybe, but I thought I thought the whole, payoff thing was, supposed to be really weak. Everybody was just oh, that's it,
It was supposed to be. What the end of it is everybody gets death machines for 90 seconds, and the guy that you're helping, it's a ball of light goes up in the air, and he's like, "You freed me, thank you." I don't know how I can repay you. He gives you death machines. Everybody's thinking, well, I guess that's how we repaid you. And then about 10 seconds after that, you get your death machines. Samantha, you hear this big roar, just evil demonic roar, and that was it. And the death machines run out, and it's over. And everybody's like, "Well, that's lame." But since this seems to be a reference from Verkuda, if you played the campaign, the 8 steps, they're believing now that this is all intertwined with these 8 steps that Reznov was talking about.
So what would be the next step?
Well, wield the Fist of Iron is when you get the death machines. Now, once you wield the Fist of Iron, either you need to do something with the death machines, or step 7, which is raise hell. And I don't really know how you're going to raise hell. The metaphors piss you off.
So, yeah, there's this huge freaking rumor, and it's going around on my video, and I don't know if you've heard it or not. We talked about it, actually, so I know you have, but it's to shoot these batteries.
And it doesn't work.
Right. And somebody was saying it didn't work, and then I read a comment, and they were like, no, you're shooting the wrong batteries. And I was like, are you serious? And they said they said there was a battery underneath the Juggernaut gate that you have to shoot that nobody had seen, which
let me just cut into there. I did it all a night ago. It does not work whatsoever. There's 9 sparky batteries around the map, so there's no possible way you're going to hit all of them. Yeah, they're called...
See, now this is not
labeled
fun
Sparky.
Yeah, I'm with you, Zombie Lady, on that.
That's Reed's little pet name for his batteries is Sparky.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly it. When I'm sitting in my room contemplating who to kill next.
batteries.
Guess who's next on the list?
You're all... Let me ask you a hypothetical since I know that you want to answer this one. If you could like accurately guess what the next step would be and what the reward would be, what would it be?
The next step, well, one of the things I was thinking about yesterday was how they might even change some of the steps around instead of, like step 8 freedom, step 8's ascension, where you ascend through the air to the next part of this secret map that I would assume is the reward. Either you go to a room where you can actually end up buying wonder weapons, or you can, in fact, see Samantha. The gigantic antagonist of this entire game. So either way...
That would finish the game, though, right?
No, because you'll just see her. You're not going to do anything. How I think the game's going to end, I'll talk that a different way.
What a payoff.
Are you kidding?
I know, right?
You know how crazy the hardcore zombie fans like me would go to be like, she looks identical to Alma. They have no creativity. Yes.
I don't think she would. I think she would be disgustingly like old for some reason. I mean, listen to her voice.
She was 6 when she got teleported into Reese.
Why?
This is now 20 years later.
She's gonna look like those Japanese scary movie monsters.
Yeah. Well, maybe like this has done more than 20 years worth of aging.
But then I really don't think she's aging because of the effects from the 115 experiment and the teleportation. But then I'm starting to get into the zombie story, and that's above most of your guys' heads.
Yeah, I don't want to hear it, and I think I'm right.
I'll wait for the novel. which will be written
much more than a novel, Anakin. My God, it's
a trilogy, or maybe like Star Wars, you know?
Yeah,
well, Brad's gonna write it.
Star Wars, I can assure you that.
Good Lord,
gonna write it.
Well, I think we talked about Ascension a lot.
Let's talk about some of the other maps here real quick, and then let's move on to some of the other things that we wanted to cover about all of Call of Duty and some of the other issues going on out there. So let's give your take again. I know we talked briefly about some of the maps, but what seems to be everybody's favorite of the standard multiplayer maps?
Well, my personal favorite has to be Berlin, the Berlin Wall. And
Anakin's least favorite.
Yes.
Well, I've noticed it's a mixing pot. I mean, it's like, you either love one of the maps or you hate it. I mean, it's just like, it's really, I don't know, I can't understand it. Like, I was playing with Spider the other day, and he didn't seem to like any of them, you know, and and I was like, well, I actually really, I really like the Berlin Wall myself, simply because those red zones, they actually give kind of like this false wall feeling. So you've got one way you can run down here. However, there's nothing protecting you from fire on either side. So it's kind of a gamble. And
I've never crossed the line.
I never go in there. I think that it's a death trap. You go in there, even if you're...
Oh, Anakin tried it, actually, right? Anakin?
Yeah, I ran through there, believe it or not. I just ran through there just completely cold just to see what would happen. I had only Marathon on, and I didn't even have an SMG. So, I mean, I was running with an assault rifle. I made it all the way through the whole thing without dying. Now, and let me clarify. Not all the way through. What I mean is from the middle section to one of the outside sections. I think if you try to run the entire length, you're going to die. But but it seems like the guns don't do that much damage. I think the point is that if you're going to pass through there, the detrimental effect is when you come out the other side. If you have at least Marathon on, you're not going to die, but you're going to be so hurt that the first encounter you come up against, you're going to die if it's very quick within you exiting that zone, I think.
Well, yeah, and not only that, but you've also got alarms signaling everybody in the map that you're in the middle. And
exactly.
And you can you can also flash, and I believe you can stun and run through smoke to prevent being hit. So so you can flash, stun, and stun the guard towers, and you can smoke them. So
yeah, the reason I didn't even get to cross that because I was playing with Brad in combat training, and he specifically told me not to cross the line. Okay, I'm a good kid. No, I'm not gonna cross the line.
You see that big red zone there? Yeah, don't go there.
My issue is, I guess, on that is that, to me, especially, and again, I haven't played the objective games on these maps, okay? I only did free-for-all just to kind of really run out there and kind of get a feel for the maps overall. But that area, it just seems to chew up time. When you're, like in an objective game, if you're, trying to do domination and you've got, or maybe search or something like that, and you're trying to get to the other side, inevitably you're going to spawn on the other side, which means now you got to go all the way over there, and you've got 3 pathways to get to the other side of the map. And really, now it's just a dead zone, and it's a big zone. It's a third of the map that you've got to travel through, and I think it's just dead game area. There's just not much to it, I don't think.
Well, see, I see it completely different. Like I look at it as, those zones are not to be traveled in. You've got, 3 or 4? You've got 3 or 4 little funnel points, and it's how are you going to either defend those points, or how are you going to get through there to the other side to grab the objectives? No, you can. That's no, you're right. That's the thing, is that they're bringing these more of a sniper map. So you've got these perfect points in these buildings where you can literally look right over the wall, or you can look into the adjacent building and take off the heads of anybody in there. And I don't know. That's my favorite one. When I look at maps like Discovery, I love Discovery. I think it's an awesome map, but it's too big with way too many levels and buildings in there. And as far as Stadium goes, there's nothing wrong with Stadium. It kind of reminds me of a mixture, and I can't think of the names right now, but a mixture of a few maps from Modern Warfare 2. I don't know about you guys, but
Rust.
Do you guys know the difference between a stadium and an arena?
What?
Do you guys know the difference between a stadium and an arena?
A stadium and an arena? I guess not.
Hang on. Let me guess. A stadium is covered and an arena is not.
Nope, you got it
Opposite.
mixed up. Opposite, yeah. So technically, it's supposed to be an arena.
That's hilarious. Good catch.
Yeah.
And the hockey puck's like 10 times too big, so there's like 2 mistakes already.
The hockey
Take that,
puck.
Treyarch.
Yeah.
No,
I demand
I
a
love-
refund.
I love Kowloon. Kowloon's my favorite map.
So Kowloon I think it is freaking awesome. Like, I don't know if Chinese rooftops really
It's
look
still
like
at
that.
home. Just kidding.
That's awesome. But I mean, it's like a city in the sky, and like the way it looks, the way the map looks, and I'm taking this out of the Call of Duty perspective, because if Chinese rooftop really looked like that, somebody's gonna die, because it looks like, there's no rails to hold on to. People are obviously doing their laundry and like farming monkeys. So somebody's gonna fall off eventually.
Did you guys ever play that, what was that John Woo game that came out a few years ago?
Yeah, Stranglehold.
That's it, Stranglehold. That map, Kowloon, reminds me so much of Stranglehold. There's just certain elements about it. I just feel like every time I get onto Kowloon, I want to start shooting up the whole map and watch stuff just fall apart, because that was one of the great things about Stranglehold.
I think there's a John Woo Easter egg in there too, or something.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
Well, let's. What you guys have anything else to add on the new map pack? I think we've covered it pretty well.
Yeah.
I think from all of our perspectives, it's really just to get in there and see what the heck you think about.
Did you even play multiplayer, Reed?
Yeah, I did. I did combat training, and I just think it's overall.
Wait. Combat
good.
training is not multiplayer. Shut up.
Oh. Shut up! I'm level 4, and I don't give a crap about the Xbox.
I'm level 7!
I'm an Xbox fanboy.
It's awesome.
Awesome.
Oh man.
Well,
Alright.
let's talk about like the future of the Call of Duty franchise real quick. We wanted to talk about this last time. I think we got caught up on a few other things, but let's talk about that briefly here and see what everybody's take on it is, and maybe do a little prediction here on where they're going to go with this franchise.
Well, I think honestly, we started with zombies with the last map pack. I think that if you guys don't mind, I'd like to hear what Reed thinks that the next quarantine map pack is going to be like, because he showed me a little bit of a trailer of it, and I think it was fake.
Well, it wasn't a trailer. It's a kid went in, was having no life, and it actually kind of was funny. It was right after Brad said, "Dude, I was flying around a stadium and I found a giant puck." And I'm like, "Oh, really? You did now?" Well, guess what? I just saw. And the kid was flying around firing range, and he found all these little things that are just like in Zombies, like the flag that says "Please wait" after you put it, Pack-a-Punch, the box, and writing on the walls, teddy bear, blah, 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 blah. And it says quarantine on it, and there's lots of signs that reference it, and they're thinking this could be the next zombie map. For Zombies, I think it's dead in 2 TLCs. I think they might continue it in the next Treyarch game for fun, but this story's going to end in 2 DLCs. That'll be a total of 10 zombie maps, and I think it's finally going to be put to rest by the 3rd DLC that's released for Black
I think they
Ops.
should make a standalone game for Zombies.
It won't happen.
Yeah, well, I was actually talking to somebody about this, and I thought it was a decent idea because they could literally pump. I mean, it can't be that hard to make a map, a zombie map, because you look at.
It's hard.
No, you don't understand the shit they put in it, though. Like, just to throw a zombie map together like Nocturne in the first one, yeah, sure. They can do that in, like, a month or 2.
We don't know that.
No, seriously, they said that's how long it took them to put Nocturne in. It was just an extra they threw in the game. It took about a month or 2, a month of ideas in the second month of production and refining it, and it wasn't really too well done. Then they're like, wow, they really like this. Let's go crazy. And they did.
Well, I mean, they did a good job, but I mean, as far as, I mean, you can't say that they put any more effort into zombie maps than I mean any other like game producer puts into any other game. So I mean, if they really wanted to, I think they could make a product out of it and make their own franchise.
Okay, but we're talking about the next Call of Duty, right? So no more zombies.
No, they're done. They're done.
Okay, let's talk about Modern Warfare 3, I think. It's the next one, right?
All right, go for it. You jumped right in there.
No, I'm just...
No, you
I'm
did.
just, you know...
Your fault. You spoke up.
No, I heard it's going to be based on space. That's what I heard.
So you think it's going to be not a Modern Warfare, so it's going to be a...
Future Warfare.
Future Warfare, yeah.
It's Modern Warfare.
No, but I heard that it's going to be in space. I don't know.
You know, I would like that because, I mean, I would like to see the Call of Duty engine taken with, like, weapons we've never seen, and not even maybe not even lasers and junk, but maybe weapons from, if you've ever watched Future Weapons before.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that would be an awesome deal, to have in there, like shotguns that like have an attachment where you can actually like aim around corners and stuff. You know, it's pretty cool little thing.
Yeah.
Think about.
Well, let me tell you, anytime you add sci-fi to anything, I'm on board. which is why I think Crysis is really cool. You know, I like the idea of a good first-person shooter with things that are. You know, that are different from the norm. You know, I mean, it's one thing for just your standard military shooter, but I really, really like the idea of weapons that are kind of otherworldly or, you know, futuristic or whatever. You know, that was Quake 3, Unreal Tournament, you know, that kind of stuff was a blast because everything was just like, you had to learn what the weapon really did. You know, I love a good rail gun from like the Quake series. I mean, that's the kind of weapon I'm looking for.
Oh,
you know?
exactly, yeah. I mean, and then, but if I'm trying to think of some of the weapons that they've got in Future Weapons that we just haven't seen. Like, think of all the ammo possibilities you could have with just shotguns, and I keep going to shotguns because they've screwed them up in every game for me. Okay, I mean, they've completely destroyed them. It's like you never know when it's going to work, so it's kind of a guessing game. But I mean, think if you had a shotgun that had 7 types of different colored ammo. They each did something different. I mean, they've actually got this stuff where a shotgun can actually shoot a round that has a grenade in it. And I mean, it's so crazy to think about, but these rounds can fly forever. I think that would be pretty cool. Or an assault rifle that has hardly any recoil. And I know for balancing issues, this would be hard to do, but these weapons are something I'd like to see. And you know, they're not completely out of the realm of reality. We've actually made them. We just haven't seen them in the military yet. So As far as having a space varying Call of Duty, I think that'd be kind of absurd, seeing as I don't think that anybody would shoot a gun in a spacecraft.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be it doesn't have to be like a spaceship. I mean, it just needs to be, I think, a futuristic style. Space Marines. It could be on a plane. It could be whatever.
So an extraplanetary Call of Duty on Mars, that would be pretty cool. Or on like
are they putting on like gravity as a factor now? I don't know.
Or you mean anti-gravity, where you're kind of like floating around?
Well, they could do low gravity, cool. And they could do like a power suit or armor. What I always wanted to see, like a where you start the match with a certain amount of armor, kind of like Juggernaut or something. Which I'm not a fan of Juggernaut, but if you start off and you've got a certain amount of armor, and every time you get shot, certain, where you've got the hit detection, if you got shot in the chest, okay, now you lost your torso armor or whatever, you get shot somewhere else, you lose that armor, and it doesn't come back for the whole match. I thought that might be kind of interesting, because then, if somebody shoots you in the same spot over and over or whatever, that you could take damage quicker. It'd be the whole Space Marine
to the foot.
Yeah, there
exactly.
You go. Yeah, and I completely agree. And I'm going to be called a fanboy, but I'm really not. I've got the love for Halo. I've got the love for Battlefield. I just personally prefer the very fluid feel of a Call of Duty game, especially an Infinity Ward game. And if they could bring that fluidity, if they could bring that fluidity to a futuristic game, I think that we would all be grateful for that. I mean, I know I'm not speaking alone here.
The only thing I see with it is I just don't want Battlefront 3. I'd rather have Battlefront 3, or the makers of that make Battlefront 3. I don't want all of a sudden see stormtroopers in a Call of Duty game. It's like, no, this is the one I paid for.
No, I'm not talking.
I could understand where they could go with it, like you guys just said, those different terrains, and almost like some of those cheesy cyber movies. I don't even remember the name.
Cheesy cyber
movies. It was so lame. No, it was like these cyborgs. It was like a knockoff of Terminator. It was there was a lot of them out there.
Oh yeah.
I remember seeing as a kid. I'm like, this is awful.
Well, okay. Think of Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter, I think that's what.
Sure.
Think of that as Call of Duty. Okay, I mean when you've got your. I mean, think of, instead of having a UAV, you actually have a mask on, and when your guy hits UAV, instead of like calling up a cruddy map, you can actually kind of like have a wall hacking kind of ability where you can see them through the wall, kind of a hazy feel, but you can still see heat signatures. And I mean, think of that as an 8 kill streak, and then you've got rovers or something that come. I don't know, just something different, but something that really is neat. And just feels different. I'm tired of the same thing over and over and over. We've got 4 Call of Duties that have a 3 kill streak as a UAV, recon, or spy plane. Let's change it up just a little bit, but also make it just as good. Quit reusing. I understand that they're taking this and they're saying, okay, we've got something that works really well. We're going to go ahead and stick with that, and we're going to add a little bit to it every now and then. But
well, here's the 2 things that I would like to see from a future FPS, even beyond Call of Duty. There's 2 things. Well, one thing is actually out there, okay, and that's the destructible environments, all right, but they're not done very well. The Battlefield, they promised these awesome destructible environments and everything, and it just doesn't. It just feels contrived, It's like, oh, okay, that wall can be broken, but this one can't. It's like, oh, well, this area, in Battlefield, it's like there's certain things about it that I think are just kind of goofy, because they made it arbitrary on what can be destroyed and what can't, and what areas can show damage in the ground or the earth, but this area can't. And I understood why they did it, but it's still to me it's kind of irritating, because I want a full-blown destructive environment. Make it to where it's realistic within reason. I don't want to shoot a hole in the ground and there's a crater the size of the Grand Canyon. I mean, I just need some evidence that there was a firefight, and I want it to be persistent, at least for that game round.
Well, yeah. Well, think about this. I don't know if have you played Red Faction?
Oh, Guerrilla? I love Red Faction. So let me tell you, the very first one I think was unbelievable, and of course Red Faction Guerrilla was great.
Yeah. So yeah, imagine that. I mean, that's a great idea. You know, I was just thinking about I was thinking, what is the most destructible game I can think of? And I think Red Faction. And I'm like, you know, that would be pretty sweet if, like, I mean, imagine Crash from Modern Warfare, and then imagine if you could actually literally level it out to a straight flat playing field by the end of the match. That would be pretty sweet.
I mean, you know, if you had a kill streak come in, you know, you had the stealth bomber fly over, it better leave this insane trail of destruction right down the middle of the map, you know?
There better be helpless civilians in that rubble.
And you know what? It's funny you mention that, because the second thing that I would love to see is urban warfare, where you actually have NPCs that are just standard civilians. You spawn and on each end of a busy city with NPCs everywhere, and they're all going about their business, and all of a sudden, you know, the first shot that gets fired, you know, they see you, and then everybody tries to run for cover. They're hiding in corners. They're huddled together, and, you know, in these restaurants and buildings, you come through there shooting, and, you know, and then if you kill civilians, or if you injure civilians or whatever, it affects your points, or it, you know,
or
it takes
Time
damage
Crisis,
from you.
Oh yeah, I love that game.
Yeah.
Time Crisis, yeah.
An idea, none of the point of the civilian casualties she was talking.
Well, yeah. But I mean, think of the possibilities of new multiplayer. I mean, game types from that.
Absolutely.
You know? You've got your terrorists who are literally trying to, you know, kill the civilians or detonate a building, and, you know, you've got a point ticker, kind of like domination. However, you're not fighting for the same goal. You're fighting for something completely different. You know, for the terrorists, they would be fighting to literally create as many casualties as possible, and you would be trying to eliminate them.
Yeah, you know Counter-Strike, right?
Yeah.
When you save the hostages and you have to bring them back over to escort him, right? Yeah.
And that was the thing, exactly. But you only had like 4, you know, and the thing is they were always in the same spot. You know, if this was, if you just had everybody, if you just had a map, I mean, if you just spawned 2 groups of soldiers on the ends of 2 blocks in New York City, okay, that's what I'm talking about.
I want to spawn as a civilian.
It's kind of like Gamer the movie. You're playing as a civilian if you're like in idle mode for too long, and you lose points for being killed by the other team. But you gotta be some guy like buying a hot dog at the stand, and then you gotta start screaming.
Yeah,
girl.
I'm gonna go shopping.
But you could have all kind of perks. You could have a perk where you actually like, you know, kind of herd all the civilians towards the other group and create all this havoc. Or you could have another perk where you actually hand your secondary weapon to a civilian as an AI character that kind of helps you out, like you charm them into helping you or something. You know,
I mean,
there's all kinds of things that you could do with those varying. You know, those variables that you throw into a game like that. If you've got literally hundreds of NPCs in a map, and the other, you know, the whole idea, let's say the terrorists spawn and they have to kill all the civilians in, you know, 10 minutes or something, and you're trying to kill them, and it's a standard team deathmatch, except the mode is that they have to kill all the civilians. When you get down to like the last 10, you know, you're herding them into like a building, and now you're holding that building, or you're telling them to get down. Maybe you're even issuing them commands and say, hey, lay on the ground, you know, and they lay on the ground, and now the other team is trying to throw grenades, trying to shoot, you know, they're respawning and killing them. It would be absolutely, you know, chaotic, and I think that's the kind of element that we have yet to see, because these maps are always so desolate. You don't even see furniture, you know. You walk through these buildings and there's nothing in there, you know.
You and furniture.
Well, you know,
I watched your video. I'm like, oh, he's talking about furniture.
Yeah,
he wants to use a couch as a weapon. It's a discussion.
I want to hide behind furniture, damn it.
But you know what? In my head, I'm thinking more of those old platform games.
Platform games like what?
I don't know. You know those games such as Double Dragon, or you know those old Nintendo games. It has like the civilians on the side, and there's like you know, different kinds of stores when you can go in and there's like a secret area.
Right.
You know those games?
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Well, I remember Double Dragon, yeah, and
No.
Battletoads and all that.
Yeah. It just reminds me of that more upgraded,
Well, if you go into Modern Warfare 2 and you play, I can't even remember what level it is. It's the level where you're in the car and that dude gets shot in the head, and you get out and there's all the civilians running around. Now, just imagine that. And I think about it like. Think about like mid-level. One of the mid objectives of the game is for the terrorists is to set off a bomb in a building, and once the bomb's set off, you go from having like panicked civilians to having literally people jumping out of the building to try and get away from the fire, and you can literally change the environment just by changing the behavior of the citizens. That would be insane. I never really thought about, citizens as much, but it would also lend a completely new defensive tactic, when being the terrorists, or the heroes or whatever you want to call them.
Right. Absolutely.
Anti-terrorists.
Counter-terrorist.
Counter-terrorist. That's right. Yeah.
My bad. Okay.
Counter-terrorist strike 2014 coming to you.
Well, I think we've gone and gone ahead of the podcast, and now we are going to create our own gaming franchise, guys.
That's right.
Get
That's
wrecked.
right.
And reach
And
this.
Anakin,
Yeah.
since you have a lot of opinion, you could be the
Furniture.
developer.
I'll just
Just be a salesman in the game. Put a little Easter egg. You see him comes up in one of the games. Hello there. Would you like to buy some furniture?
No, Rad will make
awfully bald.
all the civilian zombies.
No, they have to unlock that Anakin.
Oh, God,
through a 48-step process. God.
And
Riding
only in the
lunar
DLC.
landers.
No, you kidding me?
You know what,
You go to
Reed?
the basement of
Finding
80s.
Easter eggs is like not fun to me at all.
Well, we'll
Hassle.
we'll try and make it more fun for you, I guess, because I think as long as Rad doesn't kind of leave us behind when he starts finding these things, I want to be part of this egg finding trip.
Oh, I thought it was boring. I thought I was crazy.
I never said that. I had a great time.
It's
searching
me.
for these. Yeah, it's me. She doesn't like it.
Yeah, well, you can.
What?
I said it. I said.
You guys are crazy.
All right. Well, let's enough of that. All right. Let's wrap up here. Let's tell everybody our goodbyes here from our second episode, and this is the end here. The second episode of Down the Scope, the gaming podcast you can't miss. One thing I want everybody to do here is take the time to go and visit all the channels for everybody here involved with Down the Scope. We've got Veridiya Guru 22. Check out his YouTube channel. Rad Austin's 27. Go and check out his YouTube channel. He's got a lot of good stuff there. And of course, Miss Zombie Lady. She's always got all kinds of good stuff there with a girl's perspective. She's got her girl gaming group going on over there. So definitely check her channel out. And then there's always, of course, me, Anakin. You guys always kind of check out me and see what you got to say there. I'm always trying to comment back and communicate with everybody as much as I can.
Yeah, we have one more member, Kermit. Where's Kermit?
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot to speak up in the podcast.
Oh my God!
It's
Oh my God! No way!
yeah.
Kermit, I
I'm
miss
right
you.
here. I'm really sorry I didn't speak up earlier, but I've got a hoarse voice today.
Oh my God! I love you, Kermit, and all I need is. Oh my God!
I just threw up a little bit here. Hey,
That was for that one guy.
That's how badly you pissed them off.
Yeah. By the way,
Congrats, you're on the show.
By the way, we do try to read all of the comments. Don't forget we've got youtube.com/downthescope. We're going to try to get these podcasts up once a week. And we should be able to also have some links down in the descriptions below to download the MP3s and the M4As for you guys that don't have time to sit in front of a computer for an hour. So check those out as well. Leave all your comments for us. We always look for good feedback over there on Down the Scope, or of course on each one of our own channels where we do post each episode. And we'll try to get back to everybody. We've got a few comments from last week. Do you guys want to talk about those briefly, or are we out of time?
Yeah, no, let's do it. Let's talk about them just a little bit. I mean, we need to speak to our community.
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
All right, let's see. What did we had a few comments over at everybody was kind enough to allow me to host the first episode over at my channel. And let's see, we had a few people. The constant thing I kept hearing was, are we gonna host the MP3s and the M4As? And I'm definitely going to try to link those into the descriptions for this coming week. I'm not sure where we're going to host those yet, but definitely those will be available for you guys. And at some point, we're hoping to actually have this MP3 or audio file added to the iTunes podcast library as well as Podbean, so you guys can look for us over there as well. We had some good comments. Did you guys want to answer anything in particular besides Kermit?
Sorry,
Kermit.
I had okay. So one of them we had was asking about the website, which will be in the description. But it's for you guys listening, it's podcastdownthescope at gmail.com.
Email address, you mean? Yeah.
What did I say?
Website.
Doesn't matter. Podcastdownthescope at gmail.com. You can leave any questions, fan art, anything there at that web or at that email address. I did say website. What the hell?
Awesome.
And Anakin, I think you just answered one of them as well. You know, a guy asked, "Is there any downloadable, MP3 or M4A file?" And we are working on that. We will get that done. We're kind of in the testing right now. Still, we wanted to put some content out there at least, but we're still working out the kinks as we go. So. Other than that, I don't know what other questions there were. I'm not actually looking at the page right now. But
there was quite a bit of feedback about the discussion on the lag theories about Black Ops. I'll tell you that there was a lot
for sure.
of people.
A lot of people think you're really smart.
Yeah, they were like, "Hey, there's a smart gun, and there's Kermit, and then
And there's a girl.
and there's some girl in there."
Oh,
and then there's the weirdo.
There's the 15-year-old who's snacking on Hot Pockets.
Yeah, that was absolutely ridiculous. I did see that. There was a ton of
Did
thumbs
you say
up.
Hot Pockets?
That's awesome.
Good Lord. Well, somebody else did mention, too, if we at some point wanted to do a live stream of the podcast.
Yeah,
and then
that's what I'm
record
going
it.
to say. There's a guy who said, consider doing a live podcast.
Well, we could do a chat, a live chat while we're doing the podcast and allow people, we could tell we could talk about the topics ahead of time. We could post the topics on the Down the Scope YouTube channel as well as the, some of the other places. We could talk about, hey, here's what we're going to be discussing. Here's the time we're going to do it. And we could do a live chat going on while we, discuss everything. And we could add their opinions in as well. So it might be something to look forward to.
That's a really good idea. I think we will definitely try and do that in the future.
Yeah, we'll just
put it out there. I suggested that first. Just putting it out there. Just saying.
Brad, don't be a little twerp.
Twerp. Oh, it's gonna beat me up.
I'll fly to your house and just sock the crap right out of you.
I'll probably like it.
What the heck? Let's end this.
Yeah, on that note.
Yes.
Awesome. All right. Well, you guys have anything else to wrap up? Kind of throw your goodbyes out there, and I'll wrap us up.
Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it, and I know I'm speaking for everybody else.
Miss Zombie Lady?
I'll see you guys next time.
And Rad?
Goodbye.
You know what? You guys are going to have to work on your goodbyes. All right, here we go. All right,
okay, do you have anything better?
I think I did pretty damn good, so whatever.
All right, well, we're going to wrap this up. Thanks again for listening to the second episode of Down the Scope, the gaming podcast you can't miss. I've been your host this week, Anakin, and this next week, look for one of us to take control of the podcast and host out for everybody else. And we're going to have some new topics for you. It's going to be pretty exciting. We hope to hear you guys and see some feedback from you next week. All right, once again, thanks for watching and listening, and then we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.